Howdy everyone, this is Dave and welcome to Pages of Death, where we highlight the deaths of characters in our favorite books. You may have liked these people, or you may not have. That doesn't even matter, because they met a spectacular ending, and it left you entertained. This reading will be from American Psycho, from Bret Easton Ellis, from 1991, and will highlight the death of Paul Owen. Who's Paul Owen, you may ask? Well, if you're more familiar with the movie, then this is the Paul Allen character, which is one of the changes that they made with the film adaptation. Just a trigger warning, there's going to be some naughty words in here. And without further ado, here we go. I screened calls all morning long in my apartment, taking none of them, glaring tirelessly at the cordless phone, while sipping cup after cup of decaf herbal tea. Afterwards, I went to the gym, where I worked out for 2 hours. Then I had lunch at the health bar, and could barely eat half of my endive with carrot dressing salad I ordered. I stopped at Barney's on the way back. From an abandoned loft, I had rented a unit, and somewhere around Hell's Kitchen. I had a facial. I played squash with Brewster Whipple at the Yale Club, and from there, made reservations for 8 o'clock under the name Marcus Halberstam at Texarkana, where I'm going to meet Paul Owen for dinner. I chose Texarkana because I know that a lot of people I have dealings with are not going to be eating there tonight. Plus, I'm in the mood for their chili-wrapped pork and 1 or 2 Dixie beers. It's June. I'm wearing a 2-button linen suit, a cotton shirt, a silk tie, and leather wingtips, all by Armani. Outside Texarkana, a cheerful black bum motions for me, explaining that he's Bob Hope's younger brother, No Hope. He holds out a styrofoam cup. I think this is funny, so I give him a quarter. I'm 20 minutes late. From an open window on 10th Street, I can hear the last strains of A Day in the Life by the Beatles. The bar in Texarkana is empty, and in the dining area, only 4 or 5 tables have people at them. Owen is at a booth in the back, complaining bitterly to the waiter, grilling him, demanding to know the exact reasons why they are out of the crawfish gumbo tonight. The waiter, a not bad-looking faggot, is at a loss and helplessly lisps an excuse. Owen is in no mood for pleasantries, but then neither am I. As I sit down, the waiter apologizes once more and takes my drink order. J&B straight, I stress, and a Dixie beer. He smiles while writing this down. The bastard even bats his eyelashes. And when I'm about to warn him not to attempt to small talk with me, Owen barks out his drink order. Double absolute martini. And the ferry splits. This is really a beehive of, activity, Halberstam, Owen says, gesturing toward the near-empty room. This place is hot. Very hot. Listen, the mud soup and the charcoal arugula are outrageous here, I tell him. Yeah, well, he grumbles, staring into his martini glass. You're late. Hey, I'm a child of divorce. Give me a break, I say, shrugging, thinking, oh, Halberstam, you are an asshole. And then, after I've studied the menu, I see they've omitted the pork loin with lime jello. Owen is wearing a double-breasted silk and linen suit, a cotton shirt, and a silk tie, all by Joseph Abood. And his tan is impeccable, but he's out of it tonight, surprisingly untalkative, and his dourness drizzles over my jovial, expectant mood, dampening it considerably, and I have suddenly resorted to making comments such as, is that Ivana Trump over there? Then laughing, geez Patrick, I mean Marcus, what are you thinking? Why would Ivana be at Texarkana? But this doesn't make dinner any less monotonous. It doesn't help lessen the fact that Paul Owen is exactly my age, 27, or make this whole thing any less disconcerting to me. What I've mistaken at first for pomposity on Owen's part is actually just drunkenness. When I press for information about the Fisher account, he offers useless statistical data that I already knew about. How Rothschild was originally handling the account, how Owen came to acquire it, And though I had Jean gathering this information for my files months ago, I keep nodding, pretending that this primitive info is revelatory, and saying things like, "This is enlightening," while at the same time telling him, "I'm utterly insane," and "I like to dissect girls." Every time I attempt to steer the conversation back to the mysterious Fisher account, he infuriatingly changes the topic back to either tanning salons or brands of cigars, or certain health clubs, or the best places to jog in Manhattan. And he keeps guffawing, which I find totally upsetting. I'm drinking Southern beer for the first part of the meal, pre-entree, post-appetizer, then switch to Diet Pepsi midway through, since I need to stay slightly sober. I'm about to tell Owen that Cecilia, Marcus Halberstein's girlfriend, has 2 vaginas, and that we plan to wed next spring in East Hampton, but he interrupts. "I'm feeling, slightly mellow," he admits, drunkenly squeezing a lime onto the table, completely missing his beer mug. "Uh-huh." I dip a stick of jicama sparingly into the rhubarb mustard sauce, pretending to ignore him. He's so drunk by the time dinner is over that I, 1, make him pay the check, which comes to $250. 2, make him admit what a dumb son of a bitch he really is. And 3, get him back to my place, where he makes himself another drink. He actually opens a bottle of Acacia I thought I had hidden, with a Molazzoni sterling silver wine opener that Peter Radloff bought me after we completed the Heatherberg deal. In my bathroom, I take out the axe I'd stashed in the shower, pop 2 5-milligram Valium, washing them down with a tumbler full of plaques, and then I move into the foyer, where I put on a cheap raincoat I picked up at Brooks Brothers on Wednesday, and move toward Owen, who is bent over near the stereo system in the living room looking through my CD collection. All the lights in the apartment are on, the Venetian blinds closed. He straightens up and walks slowly backward, sipping from his wine glass, taking in the apartment, until he seats himself in a white aluminum folding chair I bought at the Conran's Memorial Day sale weeks ago. And finally he notices the newspapers, copies of USA Today and W and the New York Times, spread out beneath him, covering the floor, to protect the polished white stained oak from his blood. I move toward him with the axe in one hand, and with my other, I button up the raincoat. "Hey, Halberstein," he asks, managing to slur both words. "Yes, Owen," I say, drawing near. "Why are there, copies of the styles section all over the place?" he asked tiredly. Do you have a dog? A chow or something?" "No, Owen." I move slowly around the chair until I'm facing him, standing directly in his line of vision. And he's so drunk, he can't even focus in on the axe. He doesn't even notice once I've raised it high above my head, or when I change my mind and lower it to my waist, almost holding it as if it's a baseball bat, and I'm about to swing at an oncoming ball, which happens to be Owen's head. Owen pauses, then says, "Anyway, I used to hate Iggy Pop, but now he's so commercial. I like him a lot better than—" The axe hits him mid-sentence, straight in the face, its thick blade chopping sideways into his open mouth, shutting him up. Paul's eyes look up at me, then involuntarily roll back into his head, then back at me, and suddenly his hands are trying to grab at the handle, but the shock of the blow has sapped his strength. There's no blood at first, no sound either, except for the newspapers underneath Paul's kicking feet, rustling, tearing. Blood starts to slowly pour out of the sides of his mouth shortly after the first chop. And when I pull the axe out, almost yanking Owen out of the chair by his head, and strike him again in the face, splitting it open, his arms flailing at nothing. Blood sprays out in twin brownish geysers, staining my raincoat. This is accompanied by a horrible momentary hissing noise actually coming from the wounds in Paul's skull. places where bone and flesh no longer connect. And this is followed by a rude farting noise, caused by a section of his brain, which due to pressure, forces itself out, pink and glistening. Through the wounds in his face, he falls to the floor in agony, his face just gray and bloody, except for one of his eyes, which is blinking uncontrollably. His mouth is a twisted, red-pink jumble of teeth and meat and jawbone. His tongue hangs out of an open gash on the side of his cheek, connected only by what looks like a thick purple string. I scream at him only once. "Fucking stupid bastard! Stupid fucking bastard! Fucking bastard!" I stand there waiting, staring up at the crack above the Annika that the superintendent hasn't fixed yet. It takes Paul 5 minutes to finally die. Another 30 to stop bleeding. I take a cab to Owen's apartment on the Upper East Side. On the ride across Central Park, in the dead of this stifling June night, in the back of the taxi, it hits me that I'm still wearing the bloody raincoat. At his apartment, I let myself in with the keys I took from the corpse's pocket. And once inside, I douse the coat with lighter fluid and burn it in the fireplace. The living room is very spare, minimalist. The walls are white pigmented concrete, except for one wall, which is covered with a trendy large-scale scientific drawing. And the wall facing Fifth Avenue has a long strip of faux cowhide paneling stretched across it. A black leather couch sits beneath it. I switch on the widescreen 31-inch Panasonic to Late Night with David Letterman, then move over to the answering machine to change Owen's message. While erasing the current one, Owen giving all the numbers he can be reached at, including the Seaport for God's sake, while Vivaldi's Four Seasons plays tastefully in the background. I wonder aloud where I should send to Paul. And after a few minutes of intense debating, decide London. I'll send the bastard to England, I cackle while turning the volume down on the TV. And then I leave the new message. My voice sounds similar to Owen's, and to someone hearing it over the phone, probably identical. Tonight Letterman has on a German Shepherd with a Mets cap on peels and eats an orange. This is replayed twice in slow motion. Into the hand-constructed bridal leather suitcase with a khaki-colored canvas cover, extra heavy cap corners, gold straps and locks by Ralph Lauren, I pack a wool 6-button double-breasted peak lapel chalk-striped suit and one wool flannel navy suit, both from Brooks Brothers, along with a Mitsubishi rechargeable electric shaver, a silver-plated shoehorn from Barney's, a Tag Heuer sports watch, a black leather Prada currency holder, a sharp handy copier, a sharp dial master, his passport, and its own black leather passport case, and a Panasonic portable hairdryer. I also steal for myself a Toshiba portable compact disc player, with one of the discs from the original cast recording of Les Miserables still in it. The bathroom is done completely in white, except for the Dalmatian spot wallpaper covering one wall. I throw any toiletry articles I might have missed into a plastic hefty bag. Back at my apartment, his body is already in rigor mortis, and after wrapping it up in 4 cheap terry cloth towels I also bought at the Conran's Memorial Day sale, I place Owen head first and fully dressed into a Canalino goose-down sleeping bag, which I zip up, then drag easily into the elevator, then through the lobby, past the night doorman, down the block, where briefly I run into Arthur Crystal and Kitty Martin, who've just had dinner at Café Luxembourg. Luckily, Kitty Martin is supposed to be dating Craig McDermott, who is in Houston for the night, so they don't linger. Even though Crystal, the rude bastard, asks me what the general rules of wearing a white dinner jacket are. After answering him curtly, I hail a taxi, effortlessly manage to swing the sleeping bag into the back seat, hop in, and give the driver an address in Hell's Kitchen. Once there, I carry the body up 4 flights of stairs until we're at the unit I own in the abandoned building, and I place Owen's body into an oversized porcelain tub, strip off his boot suit, and after wetting the corpse down, pour 2 bags of lime over it. Later, around 2, in bed, I'm unable to sleep. Evelyn catches me on call, watching while I'm listening to messages on 976 twat. and watching a tape on the VCR of this morning's Patty Winters show, which is about deformed people. Patrick? Evelyn asks. I pause, then in a dull monotone, calmly announce, You have reached Patrick Bateman's number. He is unable to come to the phone right now, so please leave a message after the tone. I pause, then add, Have a nice day. I pause again, praying to God that she bought it, after emitting a pitiful beep. Oh, stop it, Patrick, she says irritably. I know it's you. What in God's name do you think you're doing? I hold the phone out in front of me, then drop it on the floor and bang it against the nightstand. I keep pressing some of the numbers down, hoping that when I lift the receiver up to my ear, I'll be greeted by a dial tone. Hello? Hello? I say. Is anyone there? Yes? Oh, for God's sake, stop it! Just stop it! Evelyn wails. Hi, Evelyn, I say cheerfully, my face twisted in a grimace. Where have you been tonight? She asks. I think we were supposed to have dinner. I thought we had reservations at the Raw Space. No, Evelyn, I sigh, suddenly very tired. We didn't. Why would you think that? I thought I had it written down, she whines. I thought my secretary had written it down for me. Well, one of you was wrong, I say, rewinding the tape by remote control from my bed. Raw Space? Jesus, you are insane. Honey, she pouts. Where were you tonight? I hope you didn't go to Raw Space without me. Oh my God, I moan. I had to rent some videotapes. I had to return some videotapes. What else did you do? She asks, still whining. Well, I ran into Arthur Crystal and Kitty Martin, I say. They just had dinner at Cafe Luxembourg. Oh, really? Chillingly. Her interest perks up. What was Kitty wearing? An off-the-shoulder ball gown with velvet bodice and a laurel pattern lace skirt by Laura Marolakos, I think. And Arthur? Same thing. Oh, Mr. Bateman, she giggles. I adore your sense of humor. Listen, it's late. I'm tired. I fake a yawn. Did I wake you? She asks worriedly. I hope I didn't wake you. Yes, I say. You did. But I took your call, so it's my fault, not yours. Dinner, honey? Tomorrow? She asks, coyly, expecting an affirmative response. I can't. Work. You practically own that damn company, she moans. What work? What work do you do? I don't understand. Evelyn, I sigh. Please. Oh, Patrick, let's go away this summer, she says wistfully. Let's go to Edgartown or the Hamptons. I'll do that, I say. Maybe I'll do that.